Hello everyone, this is Anne from Odulcina Scrap. Today this is the video for the tutorial on how to make this accordion book for storage or keeping any kind of ephemera that you'd like to have. So I'm going to show you how to do this kind of book. This is the tutorial, the quick tutorial. So in order to create an album, like I just showed you, you need to pick six envelopes that are the same. So I have those that has like a big window. So I love them because I can see the content. But as I showed you in my examples, any envelope works. And if you don't have any envelopes, you can create your own following patterns, right? You need like a light cardstock to do the spine, this part here, the accordion. So you don't want a paper because that would be easily tearable, but you don't want a cardstock too because you'll have a hard time with having folds that are equal and that are all like that they are all the same, the fold is all aligned and everything. So for me, the best paper that I found was 67 pounds. I always buy on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below. If you're looking for a 67 pounds, I do my fussy cut papers with that, and everything that like I can do postcards as well, although I like the 80 pounds paper as well, but depending. Anyway, I printed both sides, and in this case I've printed portrait size because I'm gonna do my folds this way, right? Because my envelope is too large for this way, so my folds will be this way like that. So I want my pattern to be oriented portrait. So depending on your envelope, you could go the other way. And I printed both sides, and I took something very neutral this time, but you can see here I've been using just these were file folders, but really like less rigid than average. And here it's my, I had printed the Roses Paradise paper from the kit, both sides as well. All right, this one will be more neutral. You need a bone folder ideally, and you would need some sort of a cardboard to create your own covers because you'll have a hard time to find a book cover or something that matches your envelope. So you might want to do it, or you'll need to do it yourself. So this is like a box for tracing paper pads that I buy on Amazon. This is perfect, and even here I can see it's going to fit right there, so I'm going to keep that for another project. So I'll start with showing you how to do the accordion. So the accordion, first we need to match the length. So I'm going to have to trim here. And now I can decide which part I want to keep. Don't care that much. So I'm going to put it exactly the same size than my envelope, which would be here. Now that I have the same size than my envelope, I can fold. Be careful here. My first mistake was that I trimmed my paper, but I folded the wrong size. So we need, the envelope is like that. The book will be like that. So I need to fold this way. So be careful at that step to remember which side you want to fold. So this way. So I'm going to put it this way, and I'm going to fold into two right away before I forget which side it is. You align perfectly, you fold. if you take those tools, you know, to score the paper, if it won't be perfect. So I suggest, it's really easy to do this way, so just do it this way manually. You have a perfect control. And anyway, Natasha from Treasure Books, she show you and she explained in details why you should do the folds manually. So when it's folded into two, now you're going to fold again and reach back to the middle. So you go back and you align. And I'm going to do that for this one as well. You align perfectly. Well, of course, if you're not a precision girl and you accept that it's not straight, that who cares, right? It's your book. And then you're going to fold again, because right now we don't have enough folds. So we're going to fold again. And now I want to fold. See here, this is too large. So I'm going to fold in the middle again and align everything. In order to help me with this one, I kind of aligned the fold with the other fold here, and it's perfect. Now I'm going to go this way and come back like that again. There you go. And we have the last one. Okay, so now at this point, we have 3 pages that we can put. So we want more. We want to go up to 6. But this gap here, I don't want to go smaller than that to attach. Let me show you so you can understand. The envelope is kind of attached on each. Okay, let me show you. See? The envelope is attached on each mountain, if I can say. Each mountain will have an envelope attached to it, but you need a longer or a larger part to attach to your cover at the front and at the back. So this is what I'm talking about here. Those two we won't fold anymore, but those we still want to add one fold in between, and this will bring it to 6. So I'm gonna be careful there. I did the mistake and I folded the first. So I'm gonna bring this, because I want to fold it in the middle, to this line here. There you go. Now I want to bring this one to the middle as well. So I'm going to fold it this way into 2. Just take your time. This is one step that you really need to take your time and do it at your best, and it will pay. And if you don't take the time, it will make you pay. It might make you pay, I should say. So I'm gonna fold again. All right, I'm gonna score that very well. And now we have the accordion with the two longer part for the cover and the back cover. All right, so this is done. Now we can glue. Before gluing, you need to do two things. In order to help me, because I did the mistake, even if I knew I wanted to glue on each one per mountain, somehow at some point I glued one on each side of the same mountain. So I thought, in order to help myself, I will identify on which mountain I'm going to put the glue. So there's two ways you can see it. You can glue them like that or like that. So if you want to open your book and do that, you need to glue them on the first here. So now you want to glue the envelope on the first side of the first mountain like that. So you want to glue it like this. So we're going to identify, and I'm going to put an X or something very visible to help myself remembering this is where I want to put the glue. So we skip this one, 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 and that's it. That's for the cover. We have 6. Who cares? Nobody will see that. We're going to put glue on top, the envelope on top. Nobody will see that. But this will prevent you from doing a mistake like I did. Because at some point when we start gluing the envelopes, you can easily get distracted, let's say. Then you need to decide which side you want your envelope. So in this case, because the opening here is at the side, is on the side, you can glue it this way or this way. Nothing will prevent you from opening the envelope. Because I have a window, I prefer this way. So for this journal, I'm going to do it like that. But if you have an envelope that is opening this way, and that was the first mistake I did, is because this side was good looking, I made it to be the side that I wanted to see. And when I flapped it open, well, this was glued here, so I could not open the flap of the envelope anymore. So if your opening is at the top, you have no choice. You need to put the envelope this way, facing the flap, facing you. Because on the other side, then it's going to be glued there and you won't be able to open it. Okay, so if you have an envelope with the flap opening at the top, this is the way to place them. If you have an envelope with the opening on the side and this is where you glue, you can decide where you want the opening. All right, because I want the envelope, it's going to be this way. So I am using the Fabri-Tac glue this time compared to my art glitter glue. If you don't have Fabri-Tac, this is good. You can do it with this one. I just find that with Fabri-Tac, when I'm going to place my envelope, if I need to readjust a little bit, I have a little bit more time or chance to do it. So I'll just go with this little stripe here where I've put the X, and I'll just put a little bit of glue, specifically the most to the edges. What I love about the Fabri-Tac too is, or the 3-in-1 from Beacon, that's the same type, is that if the glue leaks a little bit, I'll be able to rub it off and it won't show. So I'm gonna just flatten it a little bit so it's not bulky and there's glue everywhere. I use my other hand to rub it up quickly. Take my envelope, make sure it's a good side, and then I'll align everything. I'll put the score. I'll take the bone and I'll just press hard. And then before this dries, I'm gonna rub the excess of the glue, which is something you couldn't do with the art glitter. So the 3-in-1 from Beacon or the Fabri-Tac will allow you to really press hard and just rub off the excess, which is really like a good thing. Don't wait too long though, because if you wait too long, it leaves a little glossy, shiny thing. And then I can do the same here, and I can rub off whatever exceeded. So I'm not super quick, but I'm not going to have a coffee and come back to that. Let's see. You do it right away. And I rub off the excess. And the job will be perfectly glued. It's a strong glue and there's no visible leaking. See? Here, I'll just rub a little bit. You can buy as well. There's some glue eraser. If you don't want to rub with your fingers, you can buy the glue eraser to rub this kind of excess of glue. There you go. My first is done. Now I can flap it, and it's easy to see that I need to put the glue here, and I'll just do the same. There you go. Remove the excess and I'll align. So you need to be a little bit concentrate there, because the mistake can happen fast and easy, because you need to glue the good side of the envelope, and you need to be on the good mountain of the spine paper. But other than that, it is not complicated. I forgot to flatten it, so flatten. See, I've been better with the glue for that one, but I'll come back here in case I made a little leak there, because I flatten it, and I'll go like that. At the end, you should have something pretty straight like that, with the two bigger flap to glue on your covers and all the envelopes aligned like that. Here you go. So now we just need to do the cover and glue it to the cover, which is pretty simple. So to do the cover, I'll just find a cardstock and I'll make it maybe a couple millimeters bigger than my envelope, so it's kind of bigger. So I'm gonna use this flap here, and I'll just trim this first to give myself some space on my work table. I'll just do this. I'll take that one too, and then I'll get rid of the remaining of the box, and then I can measure. Sometimes I struggle with just for cardboard like that. This is hard with the, unless you have a big trimmer, but the typical small trimmer that I have, they're not big enough. So I'm using like an X-Acto. And if you're using an X-Acto, either you measure and you use a little pen to put marks, or you use a mat like this. This works very good. So what I need, let's say if I take this, I think I'm gonna keep it like that. This will need to be flat here. Oh, it's a bit too long. So I'll remove the little dent here. So in order to do that, I align it with the lines on the mat. You see, it's a line here. So I can follow a line here more easily. And I have all of those marks to see if I'm aligned. So I'll go like that, and I'll remove just a little piece. You always remove the paper before moving your ruler. So if you didn't cut enough, deep enough, you can always go back before you remove the ruler. And then here I'm gonna do a little bit longer and a little bit longer here, so maybe something like this. So I'll put that on a line here, and I'll align the side like that to make sure that I am straight. And then I can just put the ruler and align with the big line here like this and that. Here we go. We have a cover, and then I can do the same with this one. So I'll align it here. I'll put this one on top because I want it to match. And I can see, wow, okay, there's really not a big portion to cut. It's really just like a tiny little thing. And for here, I'm gonna place it, make my little mark, align it, and cut. I have my two covers. I now just need to find a paper that is big enough to cover that, or two papers to cover that. I picked two paper. My ink was running out a little bit, and I can see there is a problem with the ink on that paper. This is from my Back in Time kit. So the colors are a little bit more fade than typical if you print it, but it's still great. I just can't use the page as is, so I need to cut it. And I think this fits, right? So as long as I can go a little bit at the back, I can maybe align it that we see a little bit here as well. So let me try to see. I'd like to see at least this. And then that would be like that. This is good. Okay, I see this. I'm gonna need to remove that. Okay, so that would be like that. That's perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some glue. And again, I'm gonna use the fabric tack because it will allow me to move my paper a little bit if I'm not perfectly aligned. This is a brand new bottle and I made the hole a little bit too big, so it goes very well to give some glue, but might put a little bit too much. So I'll just remove with my fingers the too much glue, and I'll rub it off on my end so I can use my 2 fingers. All right, now I want to glue it somewhere like that. So see, I can slide it a little bit because I want enough there. Oh, let me zoom out. Enough on both sides to kind of cover. This looks good. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna use my bone folder. Now I'm good to go. So now I just want to make my folds everywhere. And here. So you need to create your folds because you're going to need to cut the paper a little bit for the corners. And now maybe I can trim that a little bit. This is too large for nothing. And this will be hidden. So I'm using my scissors and it doesn't really matter if it's straight or not that much straight. But if you're meticulous, you could make it the good sides before you glue the cardboard there. And on each corner you're gonna need to cut like that, a little angle. You keep some of the paper there. You don't cut straight to the corner, the cardboard. You need to see, you see I leave like about 2-3 millimeters. So an angle, and I leave some paper to cover the corner, because otherwise you're going to see the cardboard. Like that. And now I'm going to start with this the biggest flap in order to do the corners after that. So I'm going to put my glue. Flatten this correctly, rub off the excess. It wouldn't matter here because anyway we're gonna have another paper to cover here, the inside. So you could use any kind of glue and the leaks are not really a problem. All right, again. I always remove the excess on my bone folder too. So easy to work with the Fabri-Tac. The only thing I don't like about the Fabri-Tac is its price. Other than that, I would just work with Fabri-Tac. Okay, in order to do the corner here, you're gonna press on the corner like that so the paper is kind of folded. I am at the final stage, so I covered my 2 covers, but now I need to put something here to hide, so I'm gonna glue that. And then I'm gonna glue the flap here and the flap there. So let me do that. I now have my 2 covers with the inside glued. So I'm gonna pick which one I want. They're really similar. Okay, this will go like that. And I want my envelope this way. So I just need to glue this there and glue this there. So I'm gonna apply my glue. And I want to go really at the edge because the cover will hold there. So put enough glue, not too much, so it doesn't leak too much. And to prevent leaking, I love to use my fingers a little bit, like that. Rubbing the excess. And I'm gonna put my flap. I just made sure they were on the good side. And this is what I love, is with the Fabri-Tac, I have time to align everything so I can place them. Make sure they're aligned on both sides. Everything is kind of aligned. I can even do that and put them down like that. And then apply a good pressure. Place everything. And I'm good to keep going on. So the other side here. My flap is like this, not this whole thing. Don't forget we need to fold like that. So fold it before to make sure you don't put too much glue everywhere. Because otherwise your next envelope doesn't have the mountain that it's glued on to open. It will just won't work if you do that mistake. You'll have to redo everything, I think. So that would be terrible. So fold it like that before. All right, to glue. And make sure it's the good way, the good side. I can put the glue there and then I'll align everything. Everything looks good. And here you go. Oh, I can maybe make sure there's no leak. All right, on the sides too. And then you can open. Isn't it cool? I love it. I just love it. Wow. Then you can decorate your cover, glue a ribbon at the back, and go like that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.